You're not bad at life, you were never taught how to think. We think a lot, but we don't always think right. There is a truth few people ever tell us. We are born with the ability to think, but almost no one teaches us to think well. That's why so many intelligent people keep repeating the same mistakes. Not because they lack intelligence, but because their thinking has never been trained. We often confuse thinking a lot with thinking clearly. Our minds are constantly busy yet rarely calm. And when our thinking isn't clear, life itself becomes heavy. This video is not about becoming smarter. It's about learning to think more clearly, so life feels lighter. Untrained thinking naturally drifts off course. Thinking is like a tool. If you don't sharpen it, it becomes dull. If you use it carelessly, it can hurt you instead of helping you. Most of our thoughts don't come from reason. They come from habits, from old beliefs, from emotions, from things we've heard repeated again and again. When we're unaware of this, we start believing our thoughts are correct simply because they feel familiar. But familiar doesn't mean true. One of the most dangerous moments in thinking is when we care more about defending our beliefs than discovering the truth. The trap of I already know. The moment we believe we already understand enough, we stop learning. Many mistakes don't come from ignorance. They come from misplaced certainty. We think we've seen the whole picture, when in reality we've only seen a small corner of it. Mature thinking doesn't rush to conclusions. It pauses, it waits for more information. It's humble enough to say, maybe I don't fully understand yet. Slowing down your thinking doesn't make you weaker. It makes you less wrong. Emotions are real, but they are not facts. Emotions are powerful, they feel real, but emotions are not evidence. When we're sad, the world looks darker. When we're angry, people seem worse than they are. When we're afraid, risks appear larger than they truly are. If we can't separate emotions from facts, we start making decisions just to calm our feelings, not to solve real problems. Rational thinking doesn't reject emotions. It simply refuses to let emotions take the steering wheel. Facts vs the stories we tell ourselves. One realization changed everything for me. Learning to separate facts from the stories in my head. Facts are what actually happened. Stories are how we interpret them. Much of our suffering doesn't come from events themselves, but from the stories attached to those events. When we notice this, gain the power to rewrite those stories, not to deceive ourselves, but to see reality more clearly and fairly. Mature thinking is responsible thinking. Clear thinking naturally reduces blame. We blame circumstances less. We blame people less. We begin to understand that every choice carries consequences. And maturity means being willing to take responsibility for those consequences. Not every problem has a perfect solution. Some methods are only better or worse options. Mature thinking is the courage to choose, even when certainty is impossible. Mistakes are not the enemy of thinking. No one thinks correctly all the time. The difference is simple. Mature thinkers correct themselves quickly. Mature thinkers protect their mistakes. Mistakes are not failures, they are information. When we treat mistakes as part of learning, our thinking becomes flexible, resilient, and alive. Clear thinking deepens our understanding of others. Shallow thinking labels people quickly. Deeper thinking recognizes complexity. Someone can be wrong in one situation and still be right in another. When we understand this, judge less and listen more. Rational thinking doesn't remove compassion. It makes compassion wiser. Think more clearly to live more lightly. In a noisy and confusing world, the ability to think clearly is rare and powerful. When we think more clearly, we feel less anxious, we react less impulsively, and we stop making life harder than it needs to be. If you feel exhausted, it may not be because you are weak, but because you are carrying too many unexamined thoughts. Think a little more clearly each day. You may move slower, but you'll move in the right direction. And Semetimus, that is more than enough. Thank you for staying until the end. If these reflections gave you a new perspective, please like the video and subscribe to the channel so we can continue this journey together.